Not so anonymous after all. Meet the world's least artful hackers. It has been revealed a hacker compromised a computer belonging to a U.S. Air Force officer, stole sensitive files related to the maintenance and operation of U.S. MQ-9 Reaper military drones and attempted to sell them via dark web forum, only to find no one was interested in purchasing the ill-gotten intel. The individual was identified by a team of researchers working undercover for Recorded Future, a company specializing in real-time threat intelligence. He boasted of how he'd exploited a router vulnerability to infiltrate the computer of a captain at 432d Aircraft Maintenance Squadron Reaper AMUOIC, stationed at Creech AFB in Nevada, and steal the trove of documents, and offered them up to the highest bidder. However, a lack of interest led the hacker to drop his price to $150, and he also readily provided other forum members with samples of the files. The Recorded Future team concluded the hacker clearly had no knowledge of how much this data may cost and where and whom to sell it to, and was attempting to get rid of it as soon as possible. Easy pickings. The ability of an apparently inept hacker to access highly sensitive classified U.S. military information may shock, but their potentially devastating attack is likely to have been a matter of sheer luck. He is thought to have accessed the computer via a widely known vulnerability afflicting Netgear internet routers. The vulnerability allows hackers to access private files remotely if a user's password is outdated. Despite several firmware updates and many news articles, thousands of routers remain assailable. Even artless hackers can exploit the weak spot by scanning large segments of the internet by country, identifying which routers have a standard port used by private servers, and using a default password to break in. CC0 router. Sadly, few understand the importance of properly securing wireless access points, and even fewer use strong passwords and understand how to spot phishing emails. The fact a single hacker with moderate technical skills was able to identify several vulnerable military targets and exfiltrate highly sensitive information in a week's time is a disturbing preview of what a more determined and organized group with superior technical and financial resources could achieve. Recorded Future said in a statement. The firm's infiltrators say they have a good level of confidence of the hacker's identity, and are coordinating with U.S. Homeland Security officials to assist in his arrest. It's not the first time an amateur hacker failed to cover their tracks adequately. Making friends and enemies. In 2005, Sammy Kamka created the Sammy Worm, which infected in excess of 1 million MySpace accounts in a mere 20 hours, one of the fastest-growing malware attacks of all time. The virus inserted "Sammy is my hero" at the end of every victim's profile, and when a user viewed an infected profile, they would also be infected, and a friend request would be automatically sent to Kamka. The ploy led to the temporary closure of MySpace and earned Kamka an inordinate amount of virtual pals, but any resultant celebration on his part was short-lived. 6 months later, his home was raided by the United States Secret Service and Electronic Crimes Task Force, under the Patriot Act, for his efforts. He eventually accepted a plea bargain. In return for serving no time in prison, he paid a $20,000 fine, served 3 years of probation, and undertook 720 hours of community service. He was also banned from owning more than one unnetworked computer, and explicitly prohibited from accessing the internet for any reason during his probationary period. Nonetheless, when restrictions on his online activities were lifted in 2008, Kamka was quickly up to his old tricks anew, albeit as a white-hat hacker, identifying weaknesses in major businesses' digital assets for a premium. Since then, he has founded a number of startups and gives regular talks worldwide on digital security. It's not merely the private sector that has expressed an interest in his work. In 2010, he released EverCookie, a web cookie that cannot be deleted. Top-secret NSA documents released by Edward Snowden demonstrate the U.S. spying agency was interested in the resources and means of hacking and tracking Tor users. Achilles' heel. In 2006, Romanian student Eduard Lucian Mandru hacked the U.S. Department of Defense's computer systems, using compromised servers in Japan. When inside, he infected a number of systems with an information-stealing Trojan virus before deleting access logs. Mandrew's track-covering efforts were so effective investigators were stumped, their sole lead being the email address, wolfenstein_ingrid@yahoo.com, linked to the attack. Extensive searches for the identity of the account holder proved fruitless, however, that is until in 2008, when Mandrew, by then unemployed, began posting his CV on local job-seeking websites. His resume included the email address, which led investigators straight to his front door in 2009. Copyright photo, Pixabay data encryption. He faced a prison term of between 3–12 years for the hack, although in the end Mandrew received a suspended sentence of 18 months, and was ordered to pay the Department of Defense $35,000 in damages. Genius move. In 2008, Shahi Mirza and 3 friends hacked the website of Bangladesh's elite security force, Rapid Action Battalion. Visitors were met with a message bemoaning the government's failure to develop information technology in the country, along with banners saying the site had been attacked by GINIOUS hackers. In a less genius move, another banner boastfully identified Mirza as one of the culprits. He and his associated were arrested the very next day, and faced a decade in federal prison for their stunt. However, Mirza et al. Managed to avoid a custodial sentence, and he has since gone on to become a certified ethical hacker who attacks security systems on behalf of their owners, seeking vulnerabilities a malicious hacker could exploit. Double agent. In 2009, Jesse William McGraw, leader of anarchist hacking group Electronic Tribulation Army, was working as a security guard at the North Central Medical Plaza in Dallas. During one of his night shifts, McGraw filmed himself conducting an infiltration mission at the building, soundtracked by James Bond music. He stalked deserted corridors, installed malware virus RxBot on computers, and threatening rival hacker gangs such as Anonymous. He then uploaded the video to his YouTube channel, whereupon he came to the attention of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. While a hacker foolish enough to film themselves at work and broadcast it to the world may not seem so threatening, his hacking efforts include the installation of a backdoor in the plaza's HVAC unit, which controlled the heating, ventilation and air conditioning for the first and second floors of the North Central Surgery Center, which could have deleteriously affected patients, or caused drugs and other medical supplies to go bad. He was sentenced in 2011 to 9 years and 2 months in prison, and ordered to pay $31,881 in restitution. He will serve 3 years of supervised release following his incarceration.